Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks, AOS. Thanks, Chairman, who is a pioneer and who has done several first-in-human trials with this particular system. Thanks to the panelists. Thanks to my first refractive teacher, Dr. Meenakshi. And uh, uh, a warm good morning to everyone. So this is a sponsored session by Bosch and Lomb. I don't have to go much into the introduction, and since ocular damage subsequent to exposure of sunlight, solar eclipse, there was an idea of using therapeutic lasers in eyes. And femtosecond is the latest iteration, which falls into the deep infrared zone of between 1028 and 1053 with 10 power minus 15 seconds as the frequency. The final effect is it's a high precision knife which can create incisions, it can create planes, and it can also produce pouches. And it's been available into systems for use since 2001 and very commonly being used in LASIK flap creation and in SMILE. And it has been suggested that the edges of femto-assisted keratoplasty are very clean and wound healing is very fast. Faster suture removal is also possible. So all these are this is the team which developed, and femtosecond laser applications presently they are not alone in the cataract surgery, also in several forms of corneal therapeutics like intrastromal rings, presbyopia correction as in refractive surgery, and several forms of keratoplasties. And that's why we can call this as a versatile platform for a person who is a subspecialist in cataract, cornea, and refractive. So I'm discussing about a system which is Victus, product of Bosch and Lomb, but I have no financial interest. So Victus is a universal platform, as I said, which can work both for a LASIK, corneal therapeutics, and cataract. The newer thing is it has incorporated switch source OCT, which is designed for higher contrast. The experience is 62.5 times faster video frame rate, advanced identification management system, real-time OCT, planning for corneal procedures. So the objective of my talk is to analyze the efficiency and reproducibility of femtosecond lasers in various aspects of cataracts, corneal flaps, and therapeutic procedures using single platform. It's a retrospective analysis of 1,691 femto-assisted ophthalmic procedures in our center, and in addition to 5 pooled analysis of 5 investigator-initiated prospective trials. Out of the 1,691 procedures which were performed, 44% were for LASIK flaps 735, and 701, that is 41%, is cataract. More interesting is for a cornea person like me, 15% indication in therapeutics. So Victus in cataract surgery. Two different docking systems are available. One, if a fluid is present between the patient eye and the interface, then we call it as a soft docking, like this. Then we have, yeah. So this is a soft docking procedure, which is effective in visualization of the lens, crystalline lens. Whereas a regular docking is a one which is used for visualization of the corneal structure. And here we don't have fluid in between patient's eye and the interface. So I've just run with one of the videos. So here we can see, we can plan for capsulotomy, we can plan for lens fragmentation and the incisions. And again, the lens fragmentation, we can make circular cuts, we can make radial cuts, we can make combinations, and we can have grid. The pupil gets auto-registered. When it fails, we can always go for manual marking of the pupil, what I did in this particular area. And similarly, we could mark the anterior and the posterior lens surfaces. We can mark the capsulotomy, we can reduce the size of capsulotomy, we can in addition to automatic works, we can always um, modify according to the needs. The first one to go is the capsulorhexis, followed by nuclear fragmentation, and finally, with the regular docking, we proceed with the incisions. A triplanar incision is being fashioned, a primary incision, maybe one or two side port incisions as well. So this is the end result. We also saw some of the shortcomings in femtocataract. Out of 741 cases, 718 cases, 7 we had less than 1%. We had oversizing of pupil when automatic registration was happening. So we presume that it is because of some artifact which is sensed as pupil, and we also recommend in such cases to avoid to make a manual marking and to proceed. This is one case wherein we left marking it manually, and we had lasers on the pupil surface, but that was very less. Yeah. And femtosecond laser in refractive surgery, widely used in SMILE and femtoLASIK, as we all know. So this is a case of femtoLASIK, where a clean bed is being created first, followed by the rim. We can have the hinge anywhere, and I prefer to have it on the superior aspect. And the ease of opening of the femto-LASIK flap is also being shown in this particular video. Yeah, it opens easily. There you go. We had 2 complications till date, both in the first 10 cases. The first one, within 5 cases, we had some problem with the system, and a part was replaced where we had a asynchrony between the bed and the ring. That was the first one. Second one, we had a suction loss, and in between, and I had to take up for manual microkeratome assisted flap, and I could complete the procedure. And presently, the system is also incorporated with only making a rim cut that is possible now. So all these can also be managed using femto system only. So femto laser in corneal surgery for a corneal person like me, that is more interesting than cataract and LASIK. So we write this way: corneal therapeutics to be redefined using femto-assisted corneal procedures. So out of 255 procedures, major indication for us was in deeper stromal cross-linking, 89, then lamellar keratoplasty, then stromal addition procedure, PK, and also we did several endothelial keratoplasties. So this is one of our case series, a prospective study, where we made a pouch with 1 or 2 incisions, anterior stromal pouch, 160 or 140 microns deep, and infused riboflavin dye into the pouch for deeper absorption into the deeper structures of cornea, and subsequently UV irradiance for deeper cross-linking procedure. So in 2 phases we analyzed. Phase 1 we compared with conventional procedures. Phase 2 we followed the single arm femtocell subjects for 3 years, and we found deeper stiffening, reduced keratolysis, and it is non-inferior or superior to conventional procedures. And interestingly, the depth of demarcation line in femto-assisted cross-linking was 394, the posterior cornea as well, when compared to conventional procedures. And comparing to historical samples, this is the deepest value which we could find, and no endothelial changes were seen. And the single arm longitudinal analysis over 3 years, we found vision to be stable, minimal pachymetry to be stable, astigmatisms to be stable, and femto-treated eyes remained stable after 3 years. We had haze in the center, which regressed over a period of 3 months and no more seen after 1 year. And regarding lamellar keratoplasty, this is a case of corneal stromal dystrophy, granular dystrophy, involving the anterior and the mid corneal stroma, where I took the patient for a deep dissection of lamellar keratoplasty. We can always alter, and we can go up to 90% depth of the desired level of the cornea. And yeah, a deep dissection. This can prevent air bubble associated or a big bubble technique or Aquila's technique, where we could perforate. So perforation could be avoided, and it's more precise, more reproducible. Similarly, I also make dissection of the donor corneal stroma, donor cornea, and finally we take the patient to the OR and exchange the lenticules. So easily it comes. And just change the lenticule. So this is another case, an extremely thin cornea of advanced keratoconus. Again, a deep dissection is possible, and a DALK is very much easily possible in this particular case. So any thin cornea, we can do a precise dissection using femtosecond lasers. This is another case wherein we had an infiltration in the center involving the anterior and the mid stroma. I wanted to go posterior to the infiltration and remove the corneal infiltration and replace for a therapeutic deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty using femto lasers. In cases of penetrating keratoplasties, the rims are very clean. Like in this particular case, a central scar involving up to decimex in the endothelium. Femtosecond laser helps in clean dissection, unlike manual traphenes. And similarly, donor tissue is also dissected using femtosecond lasers. And finally, the corneal buttons are exchanged. Such a clean dissected ring, and there you go, the clean surgery by the end. So femto laser helps in penetrating keratoplasty as well. And incision for intracorneal ring segments, as we know, femtosecond laser creates channels and incisions for intracorneal ring segments, and it helps in easier implantation of ring segments into the cornea. Corneal stromal augmentation, this is something which we did some form of innovation, wherein what we did is we took a donor lenticule of nearly 150 to 250 microns, depending on the requirement, and also we created bed and incisions in the recipient and just did an intralamellar transplantation. Since all the dissections are done using femtosecond lasers, the interface appears to be very clean and healthy. So this is our case series where we compared with the deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty, and we tried to prove that this is non-inferior. And in addition, there are no suture-related adverse events and early ambulation of vision. And addition of tight layer of corneal tissue into the cornea flattened the posterior cornea much more than that of the anterior cornea. And superior to inferior asymmetry as a measure of irregular astigmatism also reversed in our series. Endothelial keratoplasty We also used femtosecond lasers in the field of endothelial keratoplasty in order to make an ultra thin or a micro thin posterior corneal graft. I use femtosecond lasers to dissect. Um, Here it is real time OCT guided dissection. So it is unlike running with keratome, it's a OCT guided real time dissection. Um, it's well seen, and I prefer to have posterior corneal graft thickness of around 65 to 70 microns, and rest of the procedure just goes like this. So this and 19 eyes of 18 subjects we studied, and our thickness, graft thickness was uh, just it is 67 microns in me. We had no hyperopic shift, and the interface properties were very excellent, very excellent. Yes, and
Lionel, the time
yes,
is up, Lionel.
yes, and as we know, we also used for several other indications like implantation of drugs and other things. To conclude, femtosecond lasers has taken cataracts to high level of refractive surgeries, and it also created LASIK flaps with ease and maximal precision. It has redefined corneal therapeutics of lamellar keratoplasty, ring segments, collagen cross-linking, therapeutic management of corneal ulcers with excellent outcomes. However, these are robotic surgeries and we need caution and skill. Thank you, Ananal, for